These are sealed in a green plastic, just to make sure. This one sounds like it's got some things rattling around. I've had this one forever. It's like a BAOFENG 5R or something like that. And I had this in the storm. And if you noticed, I've been kind of upgrading a lot of different things since I've realized what happened during that storm. This thing came in handy. Now, you do need a ham radio license to talk on these, but if that's important to you, okay. Okay, I had to check the internet, and I do have the right one. So I thought I didn't, because I originally did not order this, but I guess it was wrapped around the radio. I was more concerned about the high capacity battery, which is what this is. So that's what I was more concerned with. Oh yeah, that's the high capacity battery. So it's got a little weight to it. Okay, so I get this right. This is a BAOFENG DM-32 DMR radio, long range ham radio, handheld, rechargeable DM-32 UV walkie-talkie. It does NOAA, it does weather. It has the 3800 milliamp battery, which is the bigger one. USB-C charging 3 different ways. It does GPS. It does copy frequency. Great for survival gear. Now, when I'm surprised, it came with a flat screwdriver to put this battery on. So that's kind of cool. Pretty cheapy though. Now, let me start by saying these were about 70 bucks each. They make another one, okay, that is called the BAOFENG UV32, not the BAOFENG DM-32. There is a big difference between the two. The UV32 looks identical to this, and they run for about 30 bucks. So there's a few differences with them, and I will explain that as we go here. Oh, very nice. I like how that feels in the hand. I really do. Now, it does charge by USB. I don't know why they put this here. I'll probably put something over that, like some electrical tape, because the last thing I want to do is short them out. But it seems kind of foolish. Knobs feel good. And it's funny, they come in different colors and they put a little green down the side so you can say it's green. Go figure. It does come with a screwdriver. It does come with the cradle for charging, if you like that. It comes with 2 antennas. I did buy an extra antenna for the one I'm going to be using all the time. So it comes with 2 antennas, a manual, comes with a plug that goes in your ear. This is the USB charging cable. And this is the cord for editing in the software. So you can program it how you want. So let's talk about some of the differences between the DM-32 and the UV. They look identical. Okay? So, and they both have GPS. They both do NOAA. But this one, the DM-32, allows you to send text between 2 of these, is what you can do. And I'll tell you a good reason for why you want that. The other thing it does is it does encryption. So if you talk between these two units, it can actually be encrypted and nobody can understand what you're talking about. Catch 22 with that. Even if you have your ham license, that's apparently illegal. So don't get caught using it. So then somebody might say, well, why do they have it? Well, believe it or not, there are businesses and other places that actually can use that. So they include it in the radio. But if SHTF happens, you might want to encrypt all your conversations in case somebody's listening instead of having UV32, which doesn't do that. So that's very important. So let me get these kind of on a charger here and see how dead they are. I'll be right back. Now, one of the biggest things I was concerned about was getting a proper case for this DM-32. Now, there was a company out there that made one. I forget their name. It was made. It looks like better quality, but they wanted like $50. I mean, the radio is like 60, right? And trying to find one that fit the measurements was very important, and I wanted it to be MOLLE. So I actually used Chat GPT, and there was one other one they recommended, but they recommended this one as a better fit, which is one Tigris, and I got it in green, and it fits good. I don't see this coming out, so I can hold it on my vest, for example, or I can hold it on my waist. All right, when I added the item in the side, which allows you to connect to your ear, or if you buy a microphone, it doesn't go all the way down, as you can see. It actually sits higher, which still, believe it or not, is not a problem because you can set the distance because it's a universal. So I moved this thing up higher, and they did give you, I don't know if I have any, but they do give you, oh, that's on there good. They do give you a Velcro that you can stick on there if you want. But I think it was like $15 for this. So the price was right. It does do MOLLE, or you can slide your belt through there. It's up to you. Actually, I like this. I'm glad I bought this instead of that $50 one. See, I emailed that company. I think they're called Spectra or whatever, and 48 hours before the weekend. And I turned around and sent them an email asking, will it fit the larger battery? They never got back to me at all. I can't stand that, okay? And I will always email a company first and see if they get a reply. I don't have what I have with Amazon. You know, with Amazon, I do a refund, I get my money. Not only that, I get free shipping back. And that I really like. When I'm dealing with a individual or a company, a lot of times they'll sit back and say, oh, there's a restocking fee. You got to pay the shipping back. I mean, so you really got to make sure of what you're buying is what you want. Because I don't want to have to send it back. So even though the Spectra did look, I think that's what it's called, even though it did look like it was made with better materials, but like I said, it was like $50 by the time I would have got it. They never got back to me in email. And I will always do that. Before I buy from a company for the first time, I will always email them and give them 48 hours. If I don't get an answer in 48 hours, I don't buy it. And if they don't have a contact button, oh, forget it. I'm not going to buy it at all. And that's what I deal with. But this is made by one Tigris. It does fit the BAOFENG Radio DM-32, so I'm quite impressed with that. I do have that different antenna on, which has a lot more flexibility compared to the two they come with. So I like that. So let's understand something. Now, you don't have to do everything I've done here, all right? You don't need all these upgrades. That's just me. So if you buy, okay, the DM-32, it's going to run you about 70 bucks, and you get all kinds of gadgets with it, as you can see. I mean, you get a case with a clip. The biggest thing that's important here, okay, is this piece here. This is very important that you're looking for. And I don't care if you buy the UV one or the GM one. This is what you want if you don't have one. Okay? It even comes with a CD. Look at that. Probably instructions. But you want this thing. This thing allows you to plug into the side of your radio. All right? And then you plug this in the computer, and then you run the program. And now you can put whatever frequencies you want. You can label them. You can name them. You can do that. So here's an example. I live in a tiny town. We have maybe 40 people here to have a ham license. There are no repeaters within my distance. I'd have to have a 200-foot antenna out my house just to reach a repeater. There's probably nobody to talk to. The most I'm going to get on here is an FM station, the NOAA weather, the emergency weather, and maybe the fire truck, maybe the buses. Getting the police is literally impossible because we're on a trunk system now. But getting a few things. So why would I want this? Well, this I'm going to transfer to my vehicle too. Okay, I'm looking at a $200 antenna setup that I'm going to put on my truck. And there's a guy on Etsy that's going to do me a 3D printed where this will sit in my cup holder. And then I connect the antenna I'm going to put on my truck to this. So then when I go to other cities, and I'm constantly leaving here, to go to bigger cities, like when I take the wife to Nashville. So I'm going to have all the frequencies I want for Nashville. I'm going to have the frequencies for other cities nearby that I go to on a constant basis. And you can set up your menu system and label them that way. So that's really nice. But if you want to save money and you don't have one, go with the UV32. You're not going to have that private talking, but that is illegal even if you have a license. So it's up to you whether or not you choose to use it. But like I was saying, in my small town, they wouldn't even know. I mean, I'm being honest with you. So what are some reasons to have this? When I was in that storm and somebody on Facebook had said, can you do a welfare check? I had internet for a while, but the cell phone service was gone. I couldn't plug in directions, nothing like that whatsoever. I had no form of comms whatsoever, but I had this. I had the radio in my truck. Okay, so it did allow me to monitor some things, and this came in super handy, and this was just a little tiny antenna. So I started to think, and I thought, if I had a bigger antenna in my truck and I started really altering things, it would have been a lot nicer to know what was coming up and what was going on. So like when I upgraded my towing stuff, I was like, I need to upgrade my radios is what I need to do. So that's why I bought two. Now, if you're tight on cash, like I said, go buy the BAOFENG UV32. You can buy two of them for like 60 bucks. You get all kinds of little doodads with them. Charge them up. You get NOAA weather. You get everything you need in case of an emergency. Plus, you got a set of good walkie-talkies. Now, these go about a mile, up to 3 miles. So that does come in handy. Like if you figured if SHTF happened, you're taking two vehicles, you're heading out, give one to each, and you can talk on it if you have to. I see this coming up. I see that coming up. It would be better if you get your ham radio license. It's not hard from what I understand. I did go and take a practice test for the heck of it. I scored like 62%. A lot of those questions, I was like, I had no idea what they meant. So I definitely have to do some studying, and then I'll contact somebody in my local area after I do some more practice tests, and I'll go down and get the license. But overall, I would suggest you get the license. But overall, these are super, super affordable, is what they are. Now, ideally, what we want to do with these is we want to put them in a EMP proof bag, is what we want to do with these. And they do sell them, they're pretty expensive if you get the right one. But you put 2 of these inside one of those bags, you're not going to have to worry. And now you're going to have communications. There is so much value to this at the cost factor. Okay, and just don't buy them and throw them in your drawer. You really got to play with the menus. There's all kinds of videos on YouTube on this particular model, and that is very important. But if you want privacy and you want to encrypt, get the DM-32. If you don't care, get the UV-32, which is half the price. The other thing is it has digital channels where the UV-32 doesn't. You have to decide what you want. And there's all kinds of videos on YouTube comparing these. There really is. My hardest problem was finding a case. It really was. But one Tigris has hit it out of the park perfectly. And then I got to get that guy to 3D print that thing that sits in my cup holder that this will sit in. And I got to pick up a $200 antenna system and get all that hooked up. And then I should be pretty much there. Unless I want to go to the point of a base station or I want to go crazier. Because there's guys that get into ham radios and they spend $20,000 on equipment like it's nothing. I don't see the thrill of that. You know, they're talking to people halfway across the U.S. I mean, hey, all the power to them. That's what they like doing. And a lot of videos I watched on that, they were like, CQ, you know, where are you? Where's your location? Okay, record that in the book. And I'm like, I got better things to do with my time than to talk to some stranger halfway across the U.S. Now, if that's your thing, hey, knock yourself out. But my idea for buying these is keeping track of a storm, what's going on during a storm, what I'm going into. As I travel from city to city, I can plug in those frequencies and know what's going on. Learning how to use this thing, you do have to have a skill to learn how to use this and practice with it. So you want to watch videos, you want to plug stuff in. I want it local. Okay. So let's say, for example, I had to leave the bunker. So it's been 6 months, all hell's broke loose, and I'm running out of food. So me and my son leave with 2 backpacks, where one backpack has nothing in it, the other backpack has some camping gear, and we head out. All right, we see a building, looks abandoned, don't see anybody there. We monitor it, we watch it with binoculars, we stay hidden. Now I go in and I leave him a radio. Now, the nice thing about this, we can text these radios. We don't need satellites. We don't need any of that stuff. Okay? They text radio to radio. And I can say, come in. All's quiet. Or if I hear people, now I'm texting, not talking, I can sit back and I can say, I hear people, I'm coming back up. So there's different scenarios where communication is very, very important. Now, the odds that I have people say one's in a million, but I don't know. Especially what's going on with Iran very shortly. I was like, man, I hope these get here soon. But that is, you got a lot of things that you can do with this, you know. Or you can go pick yourself up a pair of walkie-talkies, and that way if your wife's driving behind you, she can talk to you. Do not expect that your cell phones are going to work. Our cell phones went down here in that ice storm. And that blew my mind away. I've never, ever seen that happen. Okay, our internet went down. The only 2 or 3 things that was going was the stereo from the guys at the radio place. And the hams were going. And what do you call it? That Elon Musk internet. That was going. Those 3 things were going. Now, like I said, you can get this one, the UV32 for $30, or you can get the DM-32 with more bells and whistles for like 60, $70, and you get all kinds of toys. Why would you not have this? I will have both down below, and I will have this one because I wanted the high capacity battery. And if you read my description slowly, I'll have some notes there before the links that give you an idea of what's going on. But I've been using this one for, oh God, 10 years? This thing's old. And I guess I should look into it and see if there's an upgrade for the software. But, and I hand put everything in here. I didn't plug it into my computer. I actually hand plugged everything. And you can do that with this too. You can plug in the channels. You don't need a computer. Tedious, but you can do that. At any rate, check the description at the bottom. And if you don't have something like this, get your head checked and go get one. Super affordable. Catch you guys on the next one.